Montana Melman.
And I'm Marie D'Alessio.
And today the Spartan Shield shows you how to make pumpkin cinnamon rolls.
Let's get started.
There's two parts to the dough. For the first part you will need
whole milk, vegetable oil, granulated sugar, dry yeast, and pumpkin puree. You'll need to put in 1.5 cups of whole milk, a half cup of vegetable oil, and a half cup of sugar into a saucepan and heat it up until it's hot but not boiling, and make sure to keep stirring it. After the mixture is hot, remove it from heat and let it cool, and then add 1 packet of dry yeast and let it sit for 5 minutes.
Now you will add the pumpkin puree in and stir. Just yank it with a spoon. That's what you got. Oh! After letting it sit, you're going to come over to the mixer and add part 1 of the dough. After you're done making part 1 of the dough, you add that dough into here. And for the second part, you will need
4.5 cups of flour, a half teaspoon of cinnamon, and a 1/4 teaspoon of ginger, and a 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg.
After the mixture is combined, place a towel over it and let it rise for an hour. After letting it rise, you're going to add 1 more half cup of flour, a half teaspoon of baking powder, a half teaspoon of baking soda, and a half teaspoon of salt, and let it mix.
After you've added those ingredients, you'll need to put some flour down on a flat surface and roll out the dough in a rectangle shape.
After you've rolled out your dough, melt 1 stick of butter and brush the melted butter across the dough. You will then add a half a cup of white sugar and a half a cup of brown sugar,
And then a half teaspoon of cinnamon, a 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg, and a half teaspoon of ginger, and you'll sprinkle all of those things over the dough and the butter. After you've sprinkled all of that stuff on top of the dough, you're going to start at one end and you're going to roll it tightly all the way until the end, and then pinch the seam at the end. Okay, once you've rolled up your dough, you're going to slice it into whatever size cinnamon rolls you want and then place it onto a greased baking sheet.
After letting it sit for 20 minutes, you set your oven to 375, and it's time to press the button. And set the kitchen timer to 15 minutes. And finally, we are on to the icing. To make the icing, you will need
8 ounces of softened cream cheese,
I will cut this part.
2 cups of powdered sugar, a 1/4 cup of whole milk, 2 tablespoons of melted butter, and a dash of salt.
After taking them out of the oven, you're going to take the icing that you made before and spread it over your cinnamon rolls, as you see here. After that, you are all ready to eat.